Hello everyone, today's poem is Xiaoya北山, a Xiaoya poem from the Book of Songs. As other poems in the sub-chapter 10 Poems of Gufeng, this poem is about the daily life of officers in the central government, and the specialty is this poem is much more personal, rather writing about the king, the country, which is normally considered as something of the public affairs or state affairs. So basically, in the time of the Zhou dynasty, all the literatures is about the public interest, the public affairs, the state affairs. And no matter it's a history book, of course, it's about the biggest events, the most important events of the states. It's some of the public affairs. So did the poems in the Book of Songs. And this one is a little bit different. And it's quite easy to be understood by today's people. Just if we treat the Zhou dynasty, the central government, as a company, and those officers, they are the employees in this company. Actually, it's quite similar, and we can feel the similarity from this poem. Let's see. Okay, the first paragraph. 陟彼北山，言采其杞. I climb up that North Mountain. I mean to collect some of the wolfberries. 偕偕士子，朝夕从事. The officers, they are one by one, there are so many, and they are doing their duties from early morning till night. 王事靡盬，忧我父母. The state affairs, the things from the kings is endless, and I feel so worried about my parents. Okay, the first paragraph is quite obvious. The sentence is quite formulated, so it's sort of the catchwords, but basically tell the things that the poet is climb up the North Mountain, and the character zhi is a very special term. It's always used as the death for the king. So when a king died, we are not saying the king died. In the Chinese, we say Wang Zhi, the king died, with the character zhi. So this is a very special character. And today, this character normally means climb up, cross. And the North Mountain, so it's a long mountains lined up in the north side of the capital of the Zhou people. And actually, we are not quite sure where the king of Zhou was buried, but the later dynasty, they buried the kings in the north part or the North Mountains in this area. So very likely here it tells us two things. The North Mountain is the tombs of the kings or the most prestigious noble persons, and the poet used the character zhi to give us some implication. Is a metaphor that he went to those tombs of the king. And also the next character, 言采其杞. Qi is a wolfberries, but it's share the same sound of another character, Chinese character qi, which means pray for the ancestors. And so this, if we use the metaphor or the double referring meaning, it makes sense. I went to the king's tomb in the North Mountains, and I mean to pray to my ancestors, to the king of Zhou. And so the next sentence is sort of the words by the poet he was telling to the ancestors upon their tombs. So he just expressed himself like this way. So I'm one of the officers among so many officers together. We are so many and we are so diligent from the morning till the night time. And you are the king, so you know the state affairs is endless. So we are so busy about that. And now I get a little worried about my parents. So worried about parents actually is sort of the catchword. Of course, he worried about his parents. The parents is the symbol of his family, of his fortune, of his assets, everything. So just keep in mind, in the Zhou dynasty, the ancestor and the parents basically means everything for this guy, for a person, for the family. So here he just he's trying to make his words to the kings buried in the tomb that I'm worried about myself. I'm worried about my family. There's something wrong with my family. There's something wrong with myself. The Zhou people are different from today's people, basically in two aspects. First thing first, the words they are using. So they said, I'm worried about my parents. Basically, they're saying something, I'm so worried about my future, about my family. And the second thing the Zhou people different from us is today's family is a very small family, 2 adults plus 1 or more kids. But the family of the Zhou people is a big family, many brothers, grandparents, parents, brothers, and a lot of the sons, infants, and cousins. So that's a very, very big family. Also, there is a lot of the servants in this family as well. So when they say, I'm worried about myself, or they are worried about the family, it's a big group of people, not just a few people like today, to the parents plus several kids. Okay, let's continue to the next paragraph and to see what's the worry about. 普天之下，莫非王土。The land and the sky is all belong to the king of Zhou. 率土之滨，莫非王臣。The people who are running on the land, on the earth, and to the seashore, they are not a one. They are not the servants, the officers of the king. So let me put it more easily. The people, the officers, is going back and forth on this land until to the seashore. They are all the officers. They are all the servants of the king. Chen basically is the equivalent of servant, but they are the servant of the king. So if it's a servant of a normal person, they are called as pu in Chinese. 率土 means to go along the earth. 率 is to go along. 之滨 to the seashore. 之 means to go to. Okay, the next sentence. 大夫不均，我从事独贤。The senior officers, they don't share a fair workload. I'm the only one that work so hard. So far, we know a little bit about the worry by this poet, that just like us, like today's people, my boss assigned me so many workload, and my peer, they are just drinking the coffee and chatting on the phone all the time. They just do nothing. Why I'm the only guy work so hard? And we basically we have the similar salary, right? Okay, let's continue the third paragraph. 四牡彭彭，王事傍傍. The 4 horses driving the chariot very quickly, and the duty of the king, there are so many. 四牡, this is a sort of the catchwords, refers to the chariot that the high-ranking officer drive. So it give us a little description what the situation or what the status when they are walking. So they just drive the chariot to go around the whole country and to fulfill the duty, to do the things for the king, to collect tax, to resolve the dispute, to do some of the lawsuits, whatsoever. They just drive the chariot all around the whole country. Okay, let's continue. 嘉我未老，鲜我方将. So there's 2 sayings. The first saying is the general explanation. The king take me as a very strong and junior person. I'm not so old, and he just gave me so many workload. So this is the general explanation. But I have a different explanation. 嘉我未老. So 嘉 is put something on. So the king gave me a lot of the workload that not finished yet. So I just get into a lot of the things in the middle. So normally it's a very difficult task for sure. And because you are stepping in the affairs in the middle, it adds more difficulties for you. 鲜我方将. So鲜 is very few or only. He gave me very, very few things that just about to start. So he don't give me new project. Normally the new project, it means more opportunities and easy to handle for the project manager or to the high-ranking officers. Okay, the next sentence. 旅力方刚，经营四方. Lü is the military power. Li is the power. 方刚. So here is sort of the self praise. I am so powerful right now. 方刚 right now. And I just managed all the things across the country. 经 means to go along a straight line, to go in that way. 营 means to go around. So finally, it means manage. You work all the ways to do something. That means manage and to do business in today. 经营 means to do business today. So 经营四方, so I managed all the states in all directions very well. So the third paragraph basically give us a little bit vivid situations that how they do their duty of the king, the king's duty. They just drive the chariot to run away, to run through all the states in the country. And but the worry or the complaint is the project I have is not good project. Either it's a very, very difficult project that other people cannot finish, and the king asked me to take the unfinished project to continue to finish it. On the other way hand, the king never gave me a new project, good new project. So, which means I do so many work, but I don't have my income fairly. So far, it's such a simple, straightforward poem, and I think today's people share a lot of the similarities with those people in the Zhou dynasty. We share the same weariness. We just do too much work and we don't get fairly paid. The fourth paragraph, 或燕燕居息，或尽瘁国事. Someone staying home and breathes freely, and they have drinkings and dinings happily. And someone they are so ill because of serving the country so hard, so diligently. Okay, let's see some of the words. 燕燕 is normally was considered to describe an atmosphere very happy. The character yan means dining party, a big dining event. Ju means to rest in house. Xi means to take a breath. So all these characters means enjoying and relax. So these two sentence is a comparison between someone and someone. 或 means someone. And actually, the first 或 refers to other people, and the second basically is referring the poet himself, because he actually stated very clearly in the previous 3 paragraphs that he was the only one that to serving the country, to serving the king, doing the work so diligently, so hard. And so here, when we're reading the 4th paragraph, 或燕燕居息，或尽瘁国事, actually it's quite clear. It's other people comparing with poet himself. Starting from the 4th paragraph, the poet just lists out how different he was from other guy. So the first sentence means they just drink, dining, enjoying, relax all the time. But I'm the only one is doing the work so hard and I'm so ill with it. Okay, the next sentence, 或息偃在床，或不已于行. Someone, they just take breaths and they just lying on the bed, and someone, they just can never stop of running, going around. 不已 never stop. 于行 so the means the travel, because he's doing his duty for the king. He needs to travel all around, across the states within the country. And the other people, they just relax in their house, on their bed all the time. The 5th paragraph, 或不知叫号，或惨惨除劳. Someone, they never know the sounds from the people. They never hear the complaining, the comments from the public. And someone is so sad and so bitterly working so diligently. 惨惨 means bitterly, very sadly, and 出劳 means work so hard, work very hard. So it's also referring to the poet himself. And 叫号 means to comply, to make public voice on the street. So this is by the normal people, by the public. The officers, their duty, one of their duty is they need to go to the street to hear the comments or the complaint from the people, and then they need to report these complaint from the people to the king and try to resolve it. And this sentence is very clearly that the other people, the other senior officers, they never do their duty to go to the street to listen to the people, but this guy is busy out, and he feels bitterly and sadly. The next sentence, 或妻池厌养，或王事殃长. The normal explanation is not very clear. It just gave us a very general idea. The sentence means someone is always have a lot of entertainment and enjoying, and someone is so busy working so hard for the duty of the king. And I think we can look into the characters one by one, and then maybe we can have a much better idea what it's talking about. 七 means to stay, to sleep. 七池 means to sleep very late. So as today's people, it's quite easy for us to understand what does it mean to sleep very late. You play too much or you work too much, right? 厌 means to bend down, and yang to look up, to bend over. So very likely it's describing the vivid picture of a big drinking party till late night. Those people, when they're laughing, they bend down, and sometimes when they're laughing or they singing a song, they just bend over, look above. So it's very likely a vivid description to the night life in the Zhou dynasty. And 或王事殃长, someone, the poet himself. Yang means middle. Very likely is the long word of yang. It means middle. So, and here it uses it as a verb to hold something in the center. And here actually is also a very vivid picture. It tells us that the poet hold the duty from the king in his palm, in his hand, in the center of his palm, very carefully. So you can just imagine if the poet is holding something in his hand, in both of his hands, in the center, and he's traveling all around the way across the states. That's the image the poet wants to tell you what he's doing, how he's doing. Now the last paragraph. 或战乐饮酒，或惨惨未救. Someone is drinking the wine all the time just for fun, for entertainment. And someone was so worried, and they are afraid of any fault they made. 战 means very clear, very pure. 战乐 means only for the fun, only for the entertainment. So in the Zhou dynasty, the Zhou Gong, the one of the founder of the Zhou dynasty, he made a very, very important rule that don't drink too much of the wine. If you drink wine, drink it on purpose, for the brotherhood, for the purpose to make your pray to the ancestors in the temple. So that's the use case, or that's how the Zhou people think about drinking wines. And here it's the poet said someone they drink wine all day long and only for fun. Of course, that's not right. And at the same time, he was so worried. He's so afraid of making any mistake, any fault when he was doing his duty, when he was doing the state affairs. Okay, the last sentence. 或出入丰邑，或迷事不为. Someone they going out and coming back, and they just gossip and they just make comments, and someone they do everything all the time. 迷事 not a single thing, 不为 not do it. So 迷事不为 means not a single thing that I don't do it. Means I do everything. So the comparison between the other people and the poet in the last sentence basically means those people they just gave their lip services. They have rumors, they have gossips, they have comments, but they never put their hand on a real case. And the poet, his all the works, all the duties has been put on himself. He has to do everything. Okay, that's the final paragraph, final sentence. And basically, the last third paragraph is all the one-by-one comparisons between other senior officers with poet himself. And he gave us a very vivid description how a good officer is, how a bad officer is. And do you think it's quite like today's people, especially working in a big organization, in a big company, and very easily you got the same feeling with this poet. I got too much work, and I'm not fairly treated with the workload as well as the salary. In general speaking, this poem is of no importance in the Book of Songs, but it's so close to everyone's life, to everyone's work, even till today. And the wording it created is so useful for us today. And it created a lot of the very, very popular words for us, like the 普天之下，莫非王土 and 率土之滨，莫非王臣. It also gave us a bunch of vocabularies to describe ourselves. We are the very hard-working people. 尽瘁，不已于行，殃长，劬劳，惨惨未就，迷事不为. So you can use all these words when you're writing Chinese articles to praise yourself. You are a quite diligent person. And you can also use other words to describe your colleagues. 燕燕居息，息偃在床，不知叫号，栖池厌养，战乐饮酒，出入丰夷. So you can put those words on your colleagues, right? Okay, that's for today, and I think you have a lot of takeaways today. Bye-bye.